Hello, welcome to the Long Island Weather Update. It's 9:50. It's August 7th, 2024, and a rather dreary day today with some showers earlier on in the night. It's just been cloudy and cool, but at least it's been nice and cool. You can see our stalled fronts over here. If you were well upstate in New York, northern New England, you had a nice, sunny, cool, dry day, but for us, we were kind of dreary. And here you can see the south part of your screen. This is Tropical Storm Debby, and look at that, some blow-ups of convection going on over there over, it looks like, North Carolina. So let's first get our current conditions out of the way, and then we'll talk about Debby. And it was very, very cool today. So you can see here, looking at our temperatures here, get them on the screen. It's 64 degrees outside right now. The dew point is 63. However, in my alley, it's still 70. And look at how high the humidity is, 90%. That's just unbelievable. Yeah, I still got to run my air conditioning today. A lot of other people, can turn it off if you don't live in a hellhole like I do. But for me, I got to keep it going. But temperatures generally only in the 60s today. Very cool. You can look at the highs today, and you'll see temperatures actually just barely made it to 70, and I think that was overnight as well. I don't know why it's not showing the whole area, but you can see maybe some low 70s in Jersey. And the lows are probably the current temperatures, yeah, pretty much 64s. So if we take a look at what the day was like at Islip today, we had that high of 70 was probably earlier on. Yeah, it was probably closer to midnight. Yeah, it was early this morning when we had the 70, and then the temperatures just dropping throughout the day with that east wind, gusty east wind, with occasional light rain and drizzle on and off. But so far this evening, we haven't had any of that. Precipitation, we'll first start with the 24-hour precipitation amounts. Not all that much rain since midnight last night, but again, we go over all that rain that we had yesterday, which I spoke about last night's weather update. It was really quite impressive. So let's go to the latest on Tropical Storm Debby right now. Latest public advisory: center of Debby just offshore of the coast of South Carolina. Major flood threat continues through portions of the Carolinas. As of 8 p.m., its location 32.7 north, 79.4 west, about 40 miles. East-southeast of Charleston, South Carolina, about 75 miles. South-southwest of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Maximum sustained winds are 60 miles an hour. It actually did go through a little bit of strengthening, moving north at just 3 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure 994 millibars to 9.35 inches. That is the latest we have on, and they say that there could be additional strengthening tonight, perhaps before it moves inland. And the extent of tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 185 miles from the center. A coastal ocean research and monitoring bureau near Sunset Beach, North Carolina, recently reported a wind gust of 43 miles an hour. But the main thing is not really the wind. We know it's about the rain. So let's look at our warning cone here, and you'll see that now they're tracking the remnants of it well to the west of us now. The models have kept shifting west and west and west, and now we're not even in the cone anymore. But that doesn't mean that there won't be effects, but it is going to become a post-tropical depression by early Friday morning. So let's look at, and I think I already showed you the satellite, but let's go to tropical tidbits here and look again at the satellite here of Debby here. And you can see again those flare-ups of convection. It's tapping into that warm water in the Atlantic, and so it's still a tropical storm. It's still a tropical storm. Obviously, we have a great consensus on the track here, so I'm not really shouldn't even look at the spaghetti models at this point. Looking at our weather map, you can see here's Debby. Here's your stalled front. We go into tomorrow. That front tries to lift a little bit closer to the north. We'll have more chances of showers tomorrow. And then on day 3, the remnant area of Debby goes off to the west. Post-tropical Debby off to the west. Go to the Storm Prediction Center. You can see they've got that risk zone because there's still chances for tornadoes and severe thunderstorms there. Now we're going to move this along to day 3. Or here's day 2, first of all, and you can see that starts moving up. Now it starts moving into Virginia. And then we go to day 3, which is Friday. Our area is placed in a marginal risk for severe weather because we will have there will be a lot of energy in the atmosphere. Looking at the current radar right now, looking at this radar, we'll start with, you'll see there Been some showers off to the west, and we had some on and off showers earlier on. Nothing really too crazy. Here's Debby over here, and you can see some absolutely terrible heavy rains still occurring here in not just South Carolina, but now in parts of North Carolina as well. And then moving out, we do have some thunderstorm activity in the Midwest too, but I'm mainly going to focus on Debby here. Let's go to the CONUS satellite view, and I'll just get some other stuff out of the way before we continue to talk about Debby here. Here's Debby, you can see, and this is what's going on out west. You can still see smoke out west, and still smoke, and it looks like some smoke there, even in the, you can see some haze over there too as well. We'll look at the northwest as well, because that's the other thing that's going on. We still have these fires out west. There's the Park Fire. Looks like we have a lot of fires going on now in Washington and Oregon. I see some smoke plumes there as well. I think that's a 24-hour plume, so you can see some pretty big smoke plumes there. And then we'll go to Alaska as well. We're going to talk about Alaska because, first of all, you can see, look at these fires here of Northwest Territories. Look at how north these fires are, and there's a reason why this is going on. We had record heat in Dead Horse, Alaska yesterday. It got to 90 degrees. Now, where is Dead Horse, Alaska, you may ask? Well, it's over here. And so I got to find it first of all. That's Baxter Island. But Dead Horse, which is right on the Arctic Bay. Is this it over here? Where is it? It's right on the Arctic Bay. Here's Dead Horse, right on the Arctic Bay. Still very warm there, 68. Got up to 75 there today. Very, very warm. And it hit 90. It hit 90 yesterday. So if we go to yesterday here, where's the one yesterday? Am I looking at the right station here? Dead Horse Alpine Airstrip. This isn't the right one. There's several observations for Dead Horse. Let's see if we can find the right one. Do apologize for this. I know there was one station that hit 90. There it is, Dead Horse Airport. 79 it hit today, 79. So Dead Horse Airport, all right, it was in the 70s today. Very warm for them. This is right on the Arctic Ocean. All right, and then look at what happened yesterday, August 6th. So we go to August 6th here, which is yesterday. It got up to 90 there. Look at that, 90 degrees. You see that on the screen there. 90 degrees at Dead Horse. That's the hottest it's ever been at Dead Horse. So that's the kind of heat that's going on over there. Very, very warm. Very warm. I mean, this is right on the Arctic Ocean is right here. I mean, look at how warm it is. It's crazy how warm it is. It's just nuts. It's way above normal. And look at this. It's 93 in Inuvik in the Northwest Territories. That's probably close to an all-time high, too. And there are a lot of wildfires going on in this area here as well. So you have a lot of heat. Look at these temperatures in the Northwest Territories. 95. I mean, I know everybody wants to talk about Debby, but, I mean, this is really very, very disturbing. Very, very disturbing. And look at this. Look at 70 degrees. This is in the Arctic Circle. 70 degrees. Very, very disturbing. Very, very disturbing. So we're having a lot of heat, and it's really crazy. If I go to the Weather Service in Dead Horse, we'll just do Dead Horse, Alaska. They'll have a brief about it here. Dead Horse Airport, Alaska, all right? And you can see haze because, of course, there's smoke. So the office is Fairbanks, Alaska, and if we go here, of course, they don't have anything on the webpage. They don't have a link about it or anything. We've got to go to their Facebook and look over there, and you'll see here that this is the all-time record of 89. It actually hit 90 there. And also Baxter Island hit an all-time record of 74. So this is what's been going on. It's pretty crazy stuff, and I had to talk about it because it's very, very unusual and very, very disturbing. And that's why you're seeing all these fires here going on here. This is the Northwest Territories. There are a lot of big wildfires going on in the Northwest Territories right now. All right, and also in Alaska too, when you have this kind of heat, it's a really bad situation. Yeah, we'll get back to Debbie now. All right, let's go and we'll do our climate statistics for today, and then we'll go and we'll talk about Debbie and how it's going to affect us. High of 70, low of 65 at Islip, and that is 7 degrees below normal. The high of 70 was 13 degrees below normal, so quite a cool day today. Quite unusually cool. Very, very cool. Very unusual. All right. And of course, we still have all these tropical storm warnings, flash flood warnings. Still a very bad situation in this area. If you look at the amount of precipitation that they've had in just 24 hours, you can see they've gotten quite a bit of rain here. Over 4 inches. This is in the past, and it's still raining. That's the thing. If we go to 48 hours, that's when the numbers get even crazier here, especially in South Carolina. But anyway, Debbie is going to be eventually making its way up the west side of the Appalachians, and you can see that's where the flood watches are, not in our area. All right. So let's go to the models now, and we will look at the track of Debbie here. On the GFS, and they're all pretty much agree now at this point what's going to happen. So, got your high here. You've got Debbie that's getting pulled up. That ridge is pushing us to the west, so it's going to go up the west side of the Appalachians. So that means most of the heaviest rain will not affect our area. It's going to be an issue for Pennsylvania. For us, though, we're going to have to deal with some wind and possible severe weather when this front comes through. And then by Saturday and Sunday, very much more improving weather. Now, still a little bit of differences with the timing on the models. The GFS is a little slower. The Euro maybe a little bit faster. The Euro's still a little bit faster, and the Euro is a little more intense with the pressure gradient and the wind. Those are the variations that we pretty much have right now. So let's talk about how Debbie is going to affect our area. We'll first look at the HRRR, which will take us into part of that time frame. So scattered showers tomorrow. We'll have some scattered showers, maybe a downpour or two. Nothing like what we had yesterday. Then for Friday, not even showing much rain here at all. And the only rain we're going to have is with the front. Now it's looking like. So Friday is going to be mostly a dry day for us, and the only rain we're going to have is going to be with the actual cold front that comes through around 8 o'clock, which could have some severe thunderstorms with it. All right, so that's what the HRRR is showing. Let's go to the NAM and see. I don't have enough of the 0Z NAM, and we'll go ahead and look at the 18Z NAM. You can see those scattered showers for tomorrow, and then here we are, NAM for Friday. And again, it's just going to be the line's going to come through in the evening, and it could be a severe risk with this line, perhaps. All right, we're going to have to. We'll have a better idea tomorrow night, I think. But you do notice how close those isobars are together. All right, so that's why we got to worry about some wind. I don't think it'll be anything too crazy. We'll go ahead and look at some of these models here for the winds. So first we're going to look at see what kind of LLJ might develop here. And we're on the NAM here. I'm on the NAM 12 kilometer. So we'll first start with the NAM here, and then we'll look at the HRRR. Yeah, this is pretty strong LLJ that does come through with this. You can see that's the LLJ. This is the 850 wind. All right, let's look at the wind at the surface. Nothing too crazy though. Nothing really too crazy. You know, we may have a little bit of beach erosion. It doesn't look like it's gonna be too bad because of where the center is going. Let's go look at the HRRR and look at the wind on that as well. Yeah, I mean it does show some strong winds, and there could be strong winds with the line of showers and thunderstorms that develops. Let's go to the dew points and wind flow. All right, so here we are. We got the easterly flow. Not too bad out. Tomorrow, though, the dew points start to rise. We have an east wind becoming more southeasterly. And then as we get into Friday, we're going to get into that really tropical, juicy air. Dew points will go well up into the 70s again. And that's going to juice up the atmosphere quite a bit. That's what could cause those any pretty strong thunderstorms to develop. Tomorrow, staying cool. But then as we get into Friday, the temperatures will increase. But we'll have plenty of clouds, so shouldn't get too warm, maybe close to 80, but it shouldn't get really too warm with that. As far as total rainfall goes, again, with that, you're not going to see that much at that front. So we go to the total accumulated precip on the HRRR here. Here we go. Through tomorrow, it's showing maybe a few downpours through Thursday that might bring up to an inch of rain. But for Friday, when that main batch comes through, it doesn't really show the whole thing, unfortunately. But if I want the whole thing, I have to go to the NAM 12. You can see, not really that much. All the heavy rain is over Pennsylvania. So this is some good news, at least. Some good news, at least for us, that we won't have to worry about any crazy flooding that we might have with this storm. Well, let's go to the RGEM next. RGEM also takes the track. Yeah, so it takes that track over Pennsylvania, the heaviest rain, right? You can see where the heavy rain goes. You can see where it goes. And then improving conditions for Saturday. If we look at the clouds, obviously tomorrow we'll have clouds. Friday we should have clouds. There may even be a break in the clouds. You never know. And then Saturday, we're going to have a nice day on Saturday. So, yeah, it's going to be out of here. The weekend's going to be great. That's good news. Originally it looked like it was going to mess up the weekend. Now it looks like it's going to be out of here, which is great. So it was some good news. As far as the smoke goes, well, it's too early to say how hazy it will be. It's just way too early for that at this point. So I think that's going to wrap things up for us. Following this a lot lately, you know. We can see how Debby has impacted power outages. We'll go ahead and look at that. Ohio is still dealing with 302,000 people without power. Some of these counties were hit very hard, and that's a very slow restoration. There's still 300. That's First Energy. That's the parent company, JCP&L. I'm not at all surprised that they're, what's going on. When Debby hit Florida, they got the power back on much faster, but that's not surprising because Florida has much better infrastructure than many other parts of the country, especially when it comes to the power grid. We'll look at a couple of more models here. Ventusky, I want to look at a couple of things here for Friday. All right, so let's go over here and look at a couple of things for Friday. Wind gusts. All right, so it is showing some wind gusts here. This is which model is this showing? This is the HRRR. Okay, so this is the wind gusts for Friday here. And yeah, the winds will be an issue on Friday. It's not going to really be so much the rain, but wow, it is showing some pretty strong winds for Friday. So these could cause some scattered power outages and some beach erosion there. It won't last that long, but it's enough that there may be some issues here with some of these strong winds here. Gusts up to 50, perhaps, and then it quiets down as we get toward later. So there's that, the thunderstorm and the Cape. Let's see for Friday. Not really showing a whole lot of Cape. Some Cape, but not that much. Wind shear, some wind shear. Lifted index, that's up there. Helicity, that's up there as well. So there are some conditions, and this could favor possible. We have to watch because we're on the right side of the storm. That usually you have tropical systems on the right side of the storm. You could have possible tornadoes that might develop as well. So yeah, Friday is going to be an active day, but the rain is not going to really be the bigger story. It's going to be the wind, I think. Let's go to windy.com, which is the European model, and see what that's doing for wind. For Friday, move this over to Friday. These are sustained winds. This is the low end wind. Let's go to wind gusts. Nothing terrible. So the HRRR seems to be a little worse than the Euro with the winds. Maybe the Euro's a little worse later on. Yeah, it's a little worse later on. It brings a tongue of maybe close to 50-mile-an-hour gusts over Long Island. So we will have to watch this. We'll have a better idea tomorrow night. So, but I don't think we're going to be seeing all that much rain from it. It's going to be mainly the wind and, it's a breezy, warm day, basically, that we're going to have. Humid day, tropical day, but the center is going to be, the core is going over Pennsylvania, and that's where the rain is going to be. So that's going to wrap up this Long Island weather update. We'll talk more about how we'll have a clear idea of the effects that we have. Let's see if they've got a briefing. They do have a briefing, so we'll go over the Weather Service briefing, and then I wrap this up here. An NHC likely storm track has continued west, decreasing rainfall forecasts. They're still calling for 2 to 3 inches for NYC and points northwest, and just 1 inch for around Long Island. We'll see. It's looking less and less. Severe thunderstorms. This is the more risk I'm concerned about. Severe thunderstorms and possible tornadoes, and the winds. Gustly winds 20 to 30, 35 to 45 miles an hour along the coast. Could even be more than that, perhaps. So this is the excessive rainfall outlook. You can see they just got us in a marginal risk, a little more off to the north and the west here. The severe thunderstorm risk, you can see that marginal risk there. They might wind up increasing that. And we're going to have a much better idea to come tomorrow night on this. So, with that, making this weather update shorter. Yeah, I've been doing these long weather updates, and it's getting a little tiring. But anyway, have a good night.